Hey guys, welcome to the Creative Arena. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this wonderful Elementor animated card with a hover effect. With this step-by-step tutorial, you'll be able to create cards that look like this. And then when you hover on the card, you have this wonderful animation. You hover on it, and you have this wonderful animation. You hover on it, and you have this wonderful animation. And mind you, whatever version of Elementor you're using, be it the free version or the pro version, this video is for you because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to achieve this wonderful card animation using the Elementor free version and the Elementor Pro version as well. And also, these cards are responsive on all devices, and we can check that out on tablet. And when you hover, you have this wonderful effect on tablet, as you can see. And then on mobile, now these are the cards on mobile, as you can see. So without further delay, let's dive in and get started. So in our Elementor editing screen, the first thing we're going to do is we just come over here, click on this plus icon here, select the flexbox container, and then we select the structure here. I'm going to come over here, set the content width to full width. Then for the minimal height, I change the uniform pixel to VH and give it the value of 100. Then I'm going to justify content to the center, align item to the center. And for the gaps, I'm going to set the gap here. First of all, I'll link this, and then for the column, I'll give it the value of 100. And then for the row, I'm going to set it to 50. Then for the wrap, I'm going to set it to wrap. Then I'll go to the style option. For the background type, I'm going to set it to gradient. The first color, I will set it to hash. Then for the second color, I'm going to set it to okay. Then I'm going to come down here to where we'll have the type. I'll leave it at linear, and then for the angle, I'm going to set the angle to 45 degrees. Okay. Then I'm going to come over here to the advanced settings, and then I'm going to set the padding. For the top, I'll give it a value of 100. To the right, I'm going to give it a value of 50. To the bottom, 100. And then to the left, 50. Okay, so then that I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to come over here to our layout to set the responsiveness of this particular container here. So I'll come over to the gap. Now for the gap, I'm going to set it to tablet, and then for the gaps, I'm going to give it 100 pixel for both the column and the row. Then go to the advanced settings. For this, I'm going to set it to 100 to the top, 20 to the right, 100 to the bottom, and 20 to the left. Okay, so now we've done that. I'm just going to come over to our elements area and select the container and drag and drop it here. Now we'll go back to our desktop view. Now for this, I'm just going to rename these various containers for reference purposes. So for this first container here, I'm going to call it our main container. And this container within the main container, I'm just going to call it our card container. Okay, so now for this card container, I'm going to set the container width to full width. Now for the width, I'm going to change the unit from percentage to pixel and give it a value of 300 pixel. Then I'm going to come over to the minimal height and give it a minimal height value of 280 degree. And then make sure the direction is set to column vertical, and then justify content to the center and align items to the start. Then I'm going to come over to the style option. For the background type, I'll set it to classic and give it a background color of white. Okay, then I come down to the border, give it a border radius of 20 pixel all around, so we now have something like this. Okay, so now that I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to come over to our elements area and drag another container and drop it within this. Now for this container here, I'm going to duplicate it. Now for the first container, I'm going to rename it and call it our image box container, and then for the second container, I'm just going to call it our content container. Okay, so for the image box container, I'm going to come over here, make sure the content width is set to full width, and then for the width, I'm going to change the unit from percentage to pixel and give it the value of 250 pixel. Then I'm gonna come over, give it the minimal height of 200 pixel. Okay, then I'll go to the additional option and make sure I set the overflow here to hidden. Then I'll come over to the style option and then come down to here. We'll have the border and give it the border radius of 12 pixel all around. Finally, I'm just gonna come over to our add elements and then drag an image widget into the image box. Okay, now I'm going to go to my media library and select an image. So I'll select this image here. Then I'll come over to the style option. For the height, I'm going to set the height to 222 pixel, and the object fit, I'm going to set it to cover. Okay, so now that I've done that, the next thing I'll do is for the image, I'm going to go to the advanced settings, come down to where we have the position and set the image position to absolute. Okay, so now that I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the content container. Now for the content container, we're going to make sure that the direction is set to column vertical, and then we're going to justify content to the start and then align items to the center. Then I'm going to go to the padding, to the advanced settings, and set the padding to 0. Okay, then I'll come over to our elements area and drag the heading widget and drop it right within the content. Now for the heading text, I'm just going to call it our heading 1. Then I'll go to the style option and tweak it a little bit. For the typography, I'm going to set the font size, the unit from pixel to rem, and give it a value of 1.5 rem. And then for the weight, I'm going to set it to 700 oud. Then I'll come over to the color and set the color to black. Okay, I'll go back to our elements and then drag the text editor widget and drop it right within the heading widget. Then I'm going to come over to the style option and then align it to the center. Okay, then I'll come back to our elements area and then drag the button widget and drop it right below the text editor. Now for the button, I'll just change the text here to learn more. Then go to the style option and tweak it a little bit. For the background, I'll set the background color to black. Leave the text color at white. Okay, then come over to our border radius. I'll give it a border radius of 12 pixel all around. Okay, so now that we've done that, now for the heading here, I'm just going to come over to the advanced settings and then give it a padding of 5 pixel to the top. So now we are done creating the structure of our card. The next thing we're going to do here is we're just going to add the various CSS class to the various containers. So we can, once we add our CSS code, it's just going to take effect instantly. So now we'll come over here to the card container, go to the advanced settings, come down to where we have the CSS class. Then we're going to give it the CSS value of card. Then I'll go to the image box, come over to the advanced settings, the CSS class, give it the CSS value of image box. Then I'll come over to the content container and then come down to where we have the CSS plus and give it the CSS value of content. Okay, so now that we've done that, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to close this here. Then I'm going to come over to the main container, go to the advanced settings and come down to where we have the custom CSS. Mind you, this feature is only available on the Elementor Pro. So if you do not have the Elementor Pro, there is a link in the description of this video where you can get the Elementor Pro and make use of it. So I'm going to head over to my code editor. We have written out the code that we'll be using to stylize this card. And this is the code I've written out here. Not to worry, this code will be made available for free on the comment section of this video for you to copy and use in whatever project you're working on. So I just copy it out and then come over here, and then I'm going to paste it here. And you can see our effect has taken place instantly on our card. So you can see when you're over, you now have this wonderful effect. And then you can check it out on tablet. You can see it's working pretty well on tablet as well. And then on mobile, we turn off the effect on mobile. So we now have this on mobile. Okay, so now when you come over here, you can come to the card here and duplicate the card depending on the number you want. We're just going to duplicate it 3 times, and then I'm going to edit the various cards. Okay, so we now successfully done that, and we now have 3 cards here. When you hover, you have this wonderful effect. You hover, you have this effect here. You hover here, you have this effect as well. As you can see, you come over to the tablet. This is what you have on the tablet. This is what you have here, and then on the mobile, you now have this wonderful effect on the mobile. Okay, now the second aspect I'm going to show you is how to make use of this, achieve this wonderful animated card using the Elementor free version. So how you're going to do that is you're just going to come over here to, if you're using the Elementor free version, all you just need to do is you come over here. I'm going to come over here and then come to the advanced settings, and for the custom CSS code, because the Elementor free version doesn't have the custom CSS option, so I'm just going to cut this out, and we can see our card has gone back to the normal. Then I'm going to publish this, and then we're going to preview this, and we can see that we now have this card here. Now we're going to come over here to where we have the customize, and we're going to click on the customize. Now it's going to open like so, and then you come over to where you have the additional CSS feature. Then you come down here. If you have other codes there, you can just ignore them and come down to the bottom, and then you now add this code here, as you can see, and then you publish it, and you can see the effect has already taken place here. So you can also do this using the Elementor free version and the Elementor Pro version, depending on which version of the Elementor you're making use of. Okay, so now that we've learned how to achieve this animated card using the Elementor free version and the Elementor Pro version, we're going to preview our design on a light simulator. So on the light simulator, this is what we have here. So now when you come, you can see it out on our live website. So working pretty well. And then when you come over, check it out on tablet. You can see it's working very well on tablet. And then when you come over and check it out on mobile, you can see how it looks like on mobile. Okay, and so we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you've learned something new from this tutorial, remember to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to our channel, remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified first when I drop a new video. And feel free to drop your comment wherever you're confused, and I'll do well to attend to as much as I can. But until then, see you in our next video. Bye bye.